Hello everyone, this is Freedomator. Welcome to the Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. We're here for qualifying for race number 8 of season number 2 of the Cabela's Cup Series, the We Love Lefty 500 here at the Paperclip. First one to hit the track here is Trey Wright in the 38. The rest of the car is going to come out and run laps around here for about 20 minutes very shortly. Up here in the booth with me I have Zachary Fitzwater and Ethan Farley. Guys, welcome to Martinsville. It's good to have you here. Fitzy, we're going to start with you. You were here for Richmond last week, and holy cow, what a crazy race we saw in on that 3/4 mile short track. Obviously here coming to a much different racetrack, do you think we're going to see anything like at all what we saw at Richmond, or do you think Martinsville is just going to have its own little identity?
Well, thanks for having me back on again. To be quite honest with you, I expect a different type of race we get this week at Martinsville. Last week at Richmond in this series, boy, we had memes left and right in qualifying, and then memes in the race. For this race at this racetrack, I expect the same thing, short track tempers, but less memes, less chaos.
And Ethan, you were in the race with Fitzy in the Scotts Grand Nationals. It went caution-free. That's the third time we've had a caution-free race in the Scotts Grand National Series. What can you tell us about racing at Richmond there? How is it like, and how do you think it'll translate to what we see here at Martinsville?
Richmond is a little weird, but Martinsville's a little weirder in that sense of anything else. I just sort of count it as like a tighter form of Richmond. That concrete asphalt mix is sort of what gets people a lot. But so far, I would say expect a lot of people going bumper to bumper a lot. Some people misjudging their brakes or misjudging the line and taking somebody out. What I'm hoping won't happen is a Joey Logano, Matt Kenseth situation.
Amen to that. Looking at the board right now, we've got the 14 of Mark Sy on the, actually no, it's the 29 Samanowski with a 29.938. 9 of Ryan Benjamin in second, then Rodney Crouch and Mark Sy the 14. Then the 11 of Evan Hunter 5th. Ben Young, the surprise there in 6th. Jamison Thole 7th, as Jason Dady in the 5 moves up in the mix there to the 5th position. Rodney is all the way up to 2nd now. Creed Daniel sneaks there into the 3rd position and knocked the 29 off the top. Ryan Benjamin just put down a 19.806 in that Evernham Dodge.
So far, it appears that a lot of the drivers are getting used to paperclip tracks, or, well, more tighter, more short tracks like Martinsville. And to be honest with you, what reminds me of Martinsville the most is my home track, Ona Speedway. It's a lot shorter, it's a little wider, but it requires a lot of braking and a lot of skill to master to get around people. As you can see, some people are going a little bit sideways through the turns just to keep themselves stabilized and not run into anybody in this qualifying session.
Making it work so far as they go around this half mile. See Trey Wright in 38. He's had an abysmal season so far here in the second season of the Cabela's Cup Series. Currently sits in the 38th position in points.
Zero stopped on the racetrack. Sorry I couldn't you up, but I saw Zero right to start finish. I just stopped for no reason.
Well, I guess he's pulled off to the pit road now. Qualifying continuing on. See where Colton Yo did end up. I believe he is on the pit road. Can't see right now. There he is, right there. So he made it back to his pit stall. They're going to figure out the issue and get him back out there as soon as they can. Meantime, Titan Nicholas in the 43 moves to the top of the charts with a 19.750 to Jimmy Hogan's 19.752. So looking at the board now, that's Dodge, 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 the top 3 with Nick Kennedy rounding that out. And all throughout the top 10, 5 Dodges. Shockingly fast here in the early minutes of qualifying.
Yeah, to be honest, RPM is on fire this week after winning last week with
Nick Kennedy 45.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Oh, I had a stumble there. But yeah, anyways, like I was saying. Oh, well, I spoke too soon. The 6th, Ben Young moves up to the top of the speed charts.
Boy, that's a surprise. He has not had a great season at all. He's been outside the top 40 in points all season, but maybe finding some speed there with that 6. Don't want to jinx him, as we see Colton Yo in the 0 coming back out in front of last race's winner, Nick Kennedy, won at Richmond, showing speed here in qualifying early on, sitting comfortably in the 4th position in that Schwann's number 45 for Petty Enterprises. Coming off his 2nd win of the season, not just his 2nd career win, 2nd win of the season, and in very short time too, so whatever speed they have found in that 45, as, oh, big stack there going through turn 1 and 2, and a pile up on the back straightaway. Dale Lightning in trouble at 31, and I think everyone else is going to be okay. 26 Tyler Mills getting through that, everyone fanning out, and they all dodge. 07 Roman Fenway has damage, he gets turned by Brady Ujest, and Colton Yo has damage in the 0. My goodness, Creed Daniel also has damage. So there's going to be a few cars going to backup cars now, or a few drivers going to backup cars. But going to want to get out there quick, as quick as they possibly can, to get out there and get some lap times going, because it's going to take a lot to knock off Ben Young in the number 6 with a 19.728. But Fitzy, I told you before we went on the air, I told you I hope we don't see the same chaos in qualifying we saw last week. Well, there it was, right there. Not quite to the extent that we saw, but it's still there, that's for sure.
Yeah, you said that right in the head. I'm thinking like, okay, I thought we were done with the madness and qualifying, people. It's qualifying. Come on. You don't go
like,
okay, we're going to be wide here. And it's like, oh boy. I guess
Alan Iverson said right that one time. It's practice. In this case, it's qualifying, people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of side-by-side going on. Shockingly enough for qualifying, as you see the 2 of Mitchell Collins getting down there. Oh my! Ryan Benjamin right into the back of Niall O'Hare, but it moves him up the racetrack. Here comes Jason Dady to the inside. Everyone just trying to mind their P's and Q's right now and try to get the lap times, as we're just over 11 minutes to go in this first cycle, Ethan.
I'm shocked with how chaotic it got whenever everybody bunched up, but then again, I'm not surprised. Martinsville is a very narrow track as it comes to fruition. If anything, I would not be as surprised if we saw that again in the actual race. So far, many drivers, many people have sort of been in a daze after the Richmond rounds, because if I would tell you as person to person, they weren't ready to handle or how to hold on to each other when they had the chance and when everybody stacked up. It sucks for the drivers who got involved in a wreck or had damage, but that will sort of set a reminder for the others on how to try and avoid a Martinsville style wreck.
And he also this is a Owen Miles around to the 48 in turn 2. He'll get it back going. As I was about to say, Martinsville is also a one-groove racetrack. Strictly one groove, as he's going to get turned again. Going down onto the pit road. Travis Crampton was there on the inside. Owen Miles going to go around and not going to be able to get down to the pit road. He'll have to go next time. But let's see if I can get this out again. Martinsville is a one-groove racetrack, so it gets very, very tight when there's a lot of traffic there because they all want to get down to the inside and be able to get as good a corner as they possibly can. And that does lead to trouble like we just saw, I'm sure, there with Owen Miles. We'll take a look at the replays at the end of this session here as we are just over 9 minutes remaining. Really, 10.5 minutes remaining because we're going to get a couple 30-second resets here. Tyler Mills in the number 26 there on the outside of the 17 of Nottingham Scott. He is currently, I don't believe he's having the best of qualifying sessions. No, he is not, 37th, but I don't know. Based on what we're seeing right here in qualifying, it might be best for him to hang out in the back. What do you think, Fitzy?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you on that one. Before I get into the Mills thing, we saw before he spin, before he spun out, he put up the ninth fastest on the speed chart. But back to Mills, if I was him, I would not do any more quali laps.
Oh, round goes the 18 of Brady Uchest, and in comes Clifton, in comes O'Hare, and Evan Hunter just gets by in the 11. That's the third spin out we've seen here in qualifying. This car is now going to try to get down to the pit road. That's the 10 of Chase Miller trying to not go into the pit road. So they had to stop there. That's going to hurt Miller's lap time big time there in that Evernham number 10.
Man, I was about to finish up a Mills thing. If I was him, I would not do any more quali laps. I would like to start in the back, make my way up for the front. Meanwhile, people, hello, this is qualifying. This is not Richmond. This is Martinsville. Come on, people. Get your head straight. This is qualifying.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm thinking they're actually braking. And while they brake, they lock up those tires, and they have no way of getting around the turn, so they immediately try and correct it, get off the gas, but in turn, they spin themselves out in that process, sort of messing themselves up in there.
There's heavy traffic around this track as well, as we see here with the 8 of Eli Bright getting bumped and ran by the 9 of Ryan Benjamin. There's also that hump on the inside with the curb and the grass there. So they could be going over that as well when they got a car behind them, and that's just a recipe for disaster. Oh, they touch off turn 2. Benjamin and Bright getting together. Mark Sy in the 14 right behind them in the Ginn Racing number 14 Chevrolet. But they're still side by side right in front of him. Is this a sneak peek of the action we're going to see tomorrow, or what? If it is, I like it.
It appears that they are sort of just preparing themselves to see how they can handle themselves in traffic. Like I said, it could also be when they're trying to steer it as hard as they can to keep themselves centered into the racetrack, keep themselves on that groove. They somewhat go sideways in a sense, so I'm not really surprised. As you can see, the number 8 Budweiser Chevrolet of Eli Bright running a sort of special scheme, looks like, somewhat referring to Ralph Earnhardt, as well as the 6, reminding of whenever everybody woke up, drank Folgers in their cup, especially back in like maybe mid 90s or early 90s to way late 80s.
Ben Young, he is actually still on top of the leaderboards with just over 7 minutes remaining with a 19.728. Nobody's quite been able to touch him in this session at this point. I don't think they're going to be able to, as we are now under 6 minutes remaining. That's Niall O'Hare on the pit road. He's going to come back out in that 99. We'll watch him as he comes out. There's a lot of traffic behind him. This is what we just saw trouble with earlier with Owen Miles. And looks like they're going to be pretty clean, just stay double file, where in Miles' case, I do believe they were 3 wide going off into turn 1. So that's what you don't want to be doing here at Martinsville, going 3 wide. 2 wide seems like it's faring pretty well, though.
It appears so, to be honest with you. Whenever you can, if you feel yourself going 3 wide, especially at Martinsville, always be ready to back off, because if something like what we've seen many times on this track, it can get a little hectic. But whenever it comes to, say, you're too wide and somebody's coming off the pits, it's going to be a little more tricky trying not to go 3 wide in that sense. But as you can see, the 24 Keegan Thompson is right now just trying to get as good as a qualifying lap as he can, in the sense of it's pretty good track if you know a way around to short tracks, how to brake and get on the gas at the same time, or how to get onto the brakes, let off, hit into the gas. And I think this is one of the many tracks where you'll have to literally shift down and shift back up to get into a good gear.
Absolutely. As we see the 20 of William Brock going down to the pit road, saw the 29 of Sam Adolsky in the Icebreakers car go down there. And Keegan Thompson is not having the best of sessions right now as he slides up through turn 1 and 2. Did not get a good exit of turn 1 and 2 there at all. Right on the back bumper of Trey Smith in the 91, who, congratulations, by the way, is coming off the Turkey Hill Series Championship over in the NOFSRL. Congratulations to Trey. Look for him to have a good week. He's been fast here in that 90. He's been fast in that 91. Look for him to be strong. But Keegan Thompson is running 32nd right now with a 19.872. The thing is, with these lap times here, everyone is under the 20-second threshold, so they're all kind of right there with each other, and not looking terrible at all with lap times here. So this is definitely going to be a hotly contested race. And Trey Smith, I said he was going pretty fast. He's actually 9th on the grid right now with a 19.769, only 41 thousandths off of Ben Young's time. Don't think he's going to quite get to the 19.728 that Young set, but Fitzy works around here, maybe gets the adjustments right. He could at least get close.
Fitzy, if you would like to give your word on something.
We'll get him back in just a second. Meantime, Brady Ugest has moved up to the 2nd position there in that 18, overtaking Titan Nicholas in the 43, who is slipping on the outside there of Chase Miller. In 19.739 for Brady Ugest. Good to see that 18 up there after spinning out earlier. I'm not surprised he's up there. He's been pretty good. He ran pretty good at Richmond. I forget in the moment right now where he finished, but he's having a pretty good season. Obviously winning at Las Vegas for that number 18 team. Has shown a lot of speed this season when he is not getting jinxed by me at Auto Club. I try to forget about that, but in this case I'm going to bring it up. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here at Martinsville as Tyler Mills comes off the pit road. Let's watch this. They're 3 wide, slipping up into the 07 of Roman Fenway. Mills going to come to the inside of Smith. 07 on the outside. Mills hops the curve. They're still 3 wide. Darian Arnsdorf right behind them right now.
So far, it's been a clean race all around. Besides the, well, not race, but qualifying session, besides every single spin that we've seen so far, Brady Ugest has sort of shown some strength as of right now. But will we see it on the racetrack? Qualifying can matter in where you can start, but it does not matter where you finish if you take into consideration all the cautions that could come out involving Martinsville.
Martinsville historically has been an extremely caution-prone track, as we almost saw another spin there off turn 2. Roman Fenway into the back of the 39 of Creed Daniel. They held on to it and actually saved it for once coming out of turn number 2 there. That's good to see. As Dale Lightning going to dive it in on the inside. That beneficial number 31. Coming off a 2nd place finish at Richmond. Vaulting him up inside. I believe he's inside the top 10 in points now. I'm going to check that real quick. Yes, he is. He is in 8th place. He gained 11 spots after finishing second to last race's winner, Nick Kennedy, who is back in 21st in points. But Kennedy going from 31st to 21st in points. He's trying to work his way up in the standings as well. As we're getting down to the first end of that timer reset up there, we've got 50 seconds remaining here in this session.
50 seconds is all these drivers need at this point. It's just the number 6 of Ben Young, who is currently just on cruise control at this point because he knows that as the cycles end, he has the pole and he is driven very hard around Martinsville.
So by the looks of it, coming down the front straightaway, Dale Lightning's engine blows. William Brock slows up. Everyone trying to go by on the inside, and then behind, he'll come to a stop on the outside and watch as Downey way up high slips up out of the groove, runs into him. Creed Daniel, Kanan Biller nowhere to go. Niall O'Hare, Owen Miles, Jamison Thole, and the rest of the car is going to come in, stack up, but they don't run into each other. Everyone else is fine after that little run-in coming off of turn 2.
As you say here, Dale Lightning blows up near the start-finish line and keeps putting down oil all over the racetrack in 1 and 2. William Brock did the smart right thing here, slows down, does not hit him. Oh, he gets him a little shot, but he gets through unscathed. However, Paul Downey goes up high, way high. He thinks he could make it through. Nope. Hits right in the right front of Dale Lightning's car. And then Paul 88, 16, and Noah Kuta got a piece of it. And then Owen Miles gets into it. Jameson Toll has nowhere to go. And then it kind of becomes ARCA brakes.
ARCA brakes, but they, shockingly enough, they get it braked in time, although a few cars did scrape the wall back there along the outside to try to get slowed up. It doesn't look like any of them ran into each other, and that was the most surprising thing when that big wad of cars came out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. And then, of course, Roman Fenway getting spun out onto the pit road there. Brady Ugess just nowhere to go, trying to stay out on the track. And Colton Yo, whatever happened to him, we'll take a look at that in a second, see what happened to the Zero over there in turn 3. That was completely separate to what happened over in turns 1 and 2, so we'll take a look at that in a second.
And here we are into the backstretch. After the major pileup, Colton Yo tries to get back into it. Nicolay Sykes hits Mitchell Collins, causing him to go into Colton Yo, who hits into turn number 3 at Martinsville. Everybody trying to avoid him. Keegan Thompson gets a little bit of it. Everybody stacking up or trying to go around him. But it also looked like Evan Hunter got a little stacked in with Colton Yo. So far, it was just as hectic as ever at Martinsville.
Coming down the front stretch here for Owen Miles. Rodney Crouch into the back of him as he slows up and into the outside. All these cars going to come through, but thankfully not as many as we saw in the last incident. And Owen Miles just goes on, gets down to the pit road, or tries to, until Travis Crampton, he's trying to stay out on the track, spins Owen Miles out, and Owen has to go around one more time before he does finally successfully come down to the pit road and get the back end of his car fixed.
As we see here, Owen Miles completed his qualifying lap, and then all of a sudden, he gets ass rammed by the 40 car. They both go in the, well, 40 goes in the wall, 48 gets a little damage, and then all of a sudden, the next thing he thinks about, he's going to pit, and then all of a sudden, Travis Crampton, right there in shot of the screen here, Crampton does not realize he was going to pit. I don't know what he was going way down there for, but Miles gets yeeted again in both corners 1 and 3. And Miles, like we said, made it back to pit lane after all that chaos happened.
Here we are coming into the front stretch, going into turn number 1. Owen Miles goes up. Then the father of Ben Crouch, Rodney Crouch, gets into the 48. Looks like the 40 was just sliding up and the 48 had nowhere to go. The 48 probably told his spotter, I have to pit. This car is going to hurt me. Then you see Travis Crampton, the 21 Air Force car, just deciding to say hello there before Owen Miles went into the pits, but he did not realize that Travis Crampton was right there and his car went around Travis, getting him into his nose to straighten him out. Then, as you can see, he's going through the corners as normal, but everybody will have to dive up high just to avoid the 48 of Owen Miles, who has to go around one more time to get his back end stretched back.
So here are your qualifying results. Ben Young on top with a 19.728. He will lead the field to the green flag here at Martinsville. Brady Ugis, Titan Nicholas, Jimmy Hogan, last race's winner Nick Kennedy, Darren Arnsdorf, Josh King, Ben Groich, Trey Smith, and Kanan Biller going to round out the top 10. There's the rest of your qualifying standings right there. So, Fitzy, what you make of this session, man?
It was almost like Richmond all over again, but less memes. But yeah, I think Ben Young knows that Richmond was not kind to him after what happened to him last lap, and today's quali, he pretty much sums it up with being on pole.
Ethan, what did you think of that?
It was typical Martinsville, but a lot more chaotic in a sense. But I'm surprised. The Roush engines have finally decided to give the number 6 a chance at Martinsville, and he got the pole in front of it. Brady Ugis, JGR, is not too far behind him, but so far, we'll have to see what happens. Many people are going to hopefully get past, but we'll see what happens in short tracks. Anything is actually possible. We may see a surprise winner, somebody who doesn't dominate the entire race, but will go in for a final lap dash, beat out the leader, maybe by a hair or two, or maybe the leader takes him out by a few seconds. We'll never know. It's short track racing, and I'm excited.
Me too. It's going to be a good one tomorrow at Martinsville and later on for the Scots Grand Nationals, which you both are going to be in. I wish you the best of luck, and we'll get you to that in about half an hour now. Until then, for Zachary Fitzwater and Ethan Farley, this is Freedomator. We'll catch you later. Y'all have a good one.